Well, welcome everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending upon where you're located in the world. I'm Brad Sugars, the chairman of Engage and Grow, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you to this to find out a bit more about what it is Engage and Grow does and why this opportunity is right now. If you take a look at the market forces that are out there right now, there is a massive shift in the way the world is working. This is the survey from the amazing team at Gallup, and we sit down, we start looking at how the world is shifting, and obviously the marketplace has shifted dramatically in the workforce, and it brings a timing for employee base to change the way we do it. Add to that technology and the way technology is shifting things out there in the marketplace, and we've got this divergence of two things that added to the third is what we'll discuss today. And that is the challenge of employee engagement. In 2022, worldwide, we reached our highest ever level of employee engagement at a record pace of 23% of employees being highly engaged or highly engaged. So if you're like me and think 23%, that seems crazy low. Yes, it is crazy low, and we're going to work through that today. But the level of quiet quitting that is being out there in the workplace is very, very large. And the way the world is shifting and that globalization of the workforce brings us here today. We're also going to take a look at how the employee stress has remained at an all-time high. Even though it's the end of the pandemic, we're still at that all-time high on that level of stress. So becoming a team member at Engage and Grow, or becoming a partner at Engage and Grow, or a senior partner at Engage and Grow is really what we're looking at. The niche that we have found, it really almost isn't a niche anymore. It's growing at such a rapid rate that we're sitting here thinking, amazed at how fast this is happening. The world's experience in 2022 of the resurgence in jobs of things, we see it even this week with Google making statements of, their team need to be back in the office at least 3 days a week. They're noticing higher productivity, all these types of things. It's changing dramatically. CEOs and HR managers worldwide are recognizing their need for employee engagement programs. And I want to show you today and share with you today why the Engage and Grow programs are so vastly different to most training programs and how that works. We're sitting in a world where more than half employees have expressed intent they want to leave their job. And we're sitting here with businesses that need to grow productivity and therefore grow profitability. So corporations and companies around the world are looking at how they're going to do that. And finally, I think the big aspect of how would these employees and companies around the world, where they're experiencing quiet quitting, what would they do to change that? And engagement and culture is ranked by 41% of them as the highest thing they need to do that. So it is the time where we sit here and say, okay, we bring together this technology and this ability that we have to change the world. We bring together the way the world is globalizing at such a rapid rate and that the business market is shifting at such a rapid rate. And we bring together what we do at Engage and Grow with all of this information. We say, now is the time to do this. But I'm going to share with you a whole bunch of things that give you enough knowledge to determine if this is something you really want to look at, if this is something that you really want to do. We here at Engage and Grow are really combined to become the greatest employee engagement company in the world. And the way we go about that is by doing things with absolute quality, by doing programs that get absolute results, by doing programs with smaller groups and then working through to the entire organization to get real results in an organization. It's not just about having a piece of technology that we put in place and say, oh, we've handled employee engagement, we're asking them surveys. No, it's really about getting to the bottom of the matter, the heart of the matter, humans connecting with humans. And that's what it's all about. So when you study our organization and you go through and take a look at our culture, who we are, our agreed core values as an organization, when you understand the mission that we are on to change the way employee engagement is delivered out there in corporations and small businesses around the world, you'll start to get a feel for who we are and why we do what we do. If I can just spend a little minute more on why we do what we do, I think you'll find when you get to meet some of our team that our passion for building great workplaces, our passion for creating amazingly engaged teams out there in the planet is so high that you will start to experience why it is our team loves what we do. We don't just enjoy it. We don't just say, oh, it's mentally satisfying. Our team loves what we do. And when you see the results and hear from some of our customers about the results they get by the way humans get to grow, evolve, and change during our programs, you'll start to see who we are and why we do what we do. But today I'm going to get into a little bit more of the logic side of it, I guess, because people need to understand and know, and I know you need to understand and know what it is that we're about in order to be able to do that. So I want to start with a simple statement that I've made multiple times, and that is about dreams and goals. And, you know, they've got to scare you. They've got to excite you. And I think for us as a team at Engage and Grow, it's very daunting, the task we have. Someone once said to me, you're only as big as your competition. And I see our competition as that lack of engagement, that taking it from 23%. Again, if we break that down globally, those numbers are higher in certain markets and much lower in other markets. So we're sitting here where we say, okay, bridging the gap from, even if we can double that 23%. And when we look at the companies we work in, we do far more than double that 23%. And I'll share with you some of that in just a moment as to how we do that. But I want to see massive goals out there in the marketplace. Now, why engagement and why is the coaching industry such a massive thing? Well, coaching obviously has become so massive in the last 20 to 30 years because of the fact that we're seeing a challenge with training working, and we're saying, okay, well, do people interact and do what they need with training? We need more mentoring, we need more coaching, we need more ongoing, because change doesn't happen in a day. We've found through 12-week programs in most of the companies that we work in that these 12 weeks or 90-day programs is where we start to see actual progress, actual results, because what happens is we deliver content and then they do, they move. By the way, if you could type in where you're at in the world, that'll help me get a bit of an understanding, because I want to talk to you about different markets in the world here today. If you can just type into the chat window what part of the world you're in, so I can make sure I do that. When we think about employee engagement today, we're really looking at on a customer service side, net promoter score has become like the thing that we say, okay, if we've got a high net promoter score, we know we're doing good customer service and we're getting good results with our customers. Our customers are at a stage where they love doing business with us. On the employee side, oh, we've got across the world, we got Mexico and India, we've got here in the States, we've got Turkey in the building, so phenomenal. So when we think about this whole factor of getting results in businesses, it's very clear to us that we need to make certain that we're not just in this for a fast turnaround, for a fast result. And that's where I think we're seeing it. Now, if we go into some of the statistics for businesses, and again, this is me appealing to your logical brain to say, okay, logical brain, you've got to understand the opportunity that we have in front of us and understand who and why we do what we do. I think will come more as you get to meet some of the team around the world. So when we go into companies and evolve their engagement, and I say evolve because it is an evolution of humans interacting with humans and connecting with humans, we start to see some major benefits, not just productivity and profitability, but lower turnover of staff. When we keep the staff longer, obviously we get better results. That's a massive difference. Safety. Now, this is one where a lot of people think, oh, I didn't even think about that. But in a lot of the construction companies that are out there, a lot of the manufacturing organizations that are out there, engagement brings about a reduction in incidents. Even the transportation companies, these things are very important to make sure that we get that into organizations. But the bottom one on here is really the one I want to mention as a reason for why this makes so much money. So when we go into businesses, it's not just about increasing engagement, it's about decreasing the problems that they're seeing. So if a business is seeing high absenteeism, high turnover of staff, if a business is seeing these, a corporation is seeing these things, then we get in there and we can actually help with those negatives not just the positives that come from the upside. So it's a solution that is two-sided, I think, is a very important aspect of what we need to look at. So if we start to think about employee engagement, the majority of the world is very software driven when it comes to employee engagement, because it's an easy solution. I have often quoted that what we do at Engage and Grow is a courageous solution for a CEO or a courageous solution for a HR team, because we're actually having humans talk to humans. We're not just having them fill in a survey. We definitely use surveys as part of what we do to get a baseline and to get a midpoint score, and then to get an end result, so that we can actually show to a CEO or show to a business owner the actual results of our programs. And that as you get more and more knowledge of what we do and you start to see some of that, you'll be very excited with how these programs get results out there in the world of business. So if we jump to again, the opportunity of coaching in employee engagement. And by the way, I know the team did ask you for questions prior to coming on here. If you did not send in a question prior to coming on the webinar today, feel free to type a question into the chat window, because I think that's an important aspect of what we do here today, is answering your questions. And I try to answer as many of them as I can before you even think of them. But if there are some I don't, please type them into the chat window. I've got 3 that were sent in beforehand, and I will get to those towards the end of the session here today. So when we go in and work with the team, or when you go in and work with the team using the Engage and Grow systemic technologies of working with people to get the results, we use the term activation. Okay, now the term activation is because we look at how do we get a heart-centered, or how do we actually get people to come from where they're at as human beings. And if you take a look at a lot of the webinars and seminars that we do, everything from our compassionate leadership to our diversity inclusion programs, all of the education that we do with our customer base is really about helping them become better people, better leaders, better team members, and therefore build a better organization. The more engagement, the more productivity, the more profitability. So what we then do is, through our programs, and I'll mainly refer to our 12-week Red Belt program during today, because it's our most used program out there. Our Leader of Leaders programs are on an individual, working with individuals, but mostly the group programs and the group activation programs is where we see the biggest result. So what management looks for in many cases is, what are the tangible results? And that's why we do the pre and the mid and the end surveys, to get those tangible results with people. And I'll show you our 6-step system to actually work that through. But what we do is, in most cases, our systemic methodology draws out from the people. It's about drawing out from the humans in the room the success factors of the organization. We are a no pen and paper policy when we're going into these meetings. We are a no phone policy. These meetings are humans interacting with humans. It's discussions. It's real people getting real results out there in the marketplace. And I think you'll be quite excited as you learn more about what we do as to how that program works. If we start thinking about activation, and I'll get to our 6 steps in just a moment, what happens is that the performance metrics that we use, and obviously engagement is a big part of those performance metrics, but obviously retention, customer satisfaction is a big part of what a business is seeking and why they would be doing these programs. You see, we're not just here to do a program for the nicety. You know, the old joke of or the old saying of team together, everyone achieves more. It's not just about, you know, painting pink paint on the walls and making everyone feel good. Yes, we want everyone to feel great about their work. Yes, we want people to feel that they love coming to work, that they are highly engaged with their team, but it's to be done with an end result. And I think that's why our programs keep getting return business in the customers that we do have, and keep building it from that perspective. But if we can get humans to have stronger relationships, if we can build that level of relationship, build a stronger performance out of those people, build better management, build better leadership, build more humans connecting with humans, then obviously the engagement with the people, the engagement with the organization, the engagement with the customer base, the engagement with the supplier base, all of these things become added benefits of the program. And so if you're thinking about joining us and becoming a franchise partner with what we do here at Engage and Grow, I want you to think about what makes you excited. You know, when I talk about who are we and why do we do what we do, I think one of the biggest factors of us selecting a franchise partner is really who are they and why do you do what you do? Why is it that you want to be a part of this? You know, if someone comes to us and says, you know, I'd like to buy an Engage and Go franchise, I'd like to invest, and because I think I can make a lot of money. We want you to do very well financially. Absolutely. We definitely want that. But we also want to know that you're in this for the same reasons we are, that you're part of this because you love seeing humans develop. You love seeing great results and you love that performance level. And that's where, you know, the word fulfillment always comes to mind as to how do you feel fulfilled by what we do? And that's a super exciting thing to see, that our team loves what they do. And I hope that's a big part of it. And that's why we say that joining our team is not just about a business decision. It's about, you know, your quality of life. It's about you becoming more happy, engaged in your world, in your life. If you read our manifesto and understand really the why behind what we do, and the manifesto that we ask businesses to sign off on to create a better business and a better work environment, to create a place where people can feel themselves and achieve great things, then you'll understand it. I think a big part of why someone joins Engage and Grow is that, you know, it's going to save you many years of development. If you look at our years and years of development of not just our programs, but even just the webinars, the content, the seminars you can deliver out in the marketplace to your prospective customers, the seminars you can deliver as keynote addresses to people. If you sit down and just take a look at our diversity and inclusion webinar, seminar, keynote, you can use that keynote, or even the ebook that we have on all of these ebooks are there. So the fact that we save you years of development by joining our team and create a program that allows you to get amazing results and really allows you to start your business from day one, going out there and getting customers is a very important aspect of why I think this is such a great thing. If you know, ultimately, I know as a business person myself, I'm a serial entrepreneur, there's no two ways about it. How I came about Engage and Grow is as a serial entrepreneur looking for ways to improve the engagement in our companies. How I came about this understanding is because of what we have to do in our organizations is keep ahead and abreast of this, and thus the building of this organization and the intellectual property that was started by the original founder of Engage and Go, Rich Maloney, who really built an amazing set of intellectual property as to how we actually go about this. So I think that your decision around this has to be logic, but it also has to come from your heart and has to come from who you are and why you want to do these things. So the concept of what we deliver is not just a big part of it. The goal of where we're going to take you and the proven success historically is not just where we're going to take you, but I think that the joining of the community, when I sit down with our community at our annual conferences or at our regular online meetings and our increasing knowledge sessions and all of the training that we do, I think that being a part of a community of achievers, performers, and lovers of human development is a very big part of what you do. It's like, I always say that, you know, there's 3 intangibles you get by joining our organization. And one of those is the team. It's like, you can't buy this team, but you sort of can. I mean, one of the great parts of what Ishik, our CEO, has been able to do is curate an amazing team. And that's why we put so much energy and effort into recruiting new franchise partners, and our deselection process of educating you about our franchise and about our opportunities, so that you understand who we are, why we do what we do, and you see, is this a fit for me? Is this organization somewhere I can add value? And someone asked me just recently, Brad, well, I feel like I could do some of this on my own. And I always answer, yes, if I don't believe we want to add you to our organization, if at some level you couldn't do this on your own. I know we will help you do it faster, better, and all of those things. But if you don't add value to our organization, why would we offer you a franchise and a partnership in our organization? I think is a really big part of that. So from there, when we sit down and we start taking a look at how many employees we have engaged across the planet, I'm very proud of the fact that we now count that number in tens of thousands. And obviously every month that number gets larger and larger, but it's very exciting to see the thousands of programs we've run in hundreds and hundreds of companies and with many very large brands. And as you talk with some of our team and just ask them about where it is that they're working and the types of companies that they're working in, you'll be very excited, I think, to see how that fits in with your future and where your future fits with all of that. So when we think about what makes a great partnership, and that's really what it is, a franchise partner with Engage and Grow is exactly that, a partner in our organization. You are our partner in that location, the location or the territory that you're in. You're our partner there. We provide you with the tools, the technology, the ability, the very basic fundamentals to be able to deliver amazing programs. We provide you with the support and the background and the training and the knowledge and all of these sorts of things to be able to be a great partner. And, I think that from just the simplicity of every month gaining new marketing materials that you can take out to the marketplace, every month getting a new webinar, seminar, or keynote address that you can take and deliver. As we train you and you become better at this, getting out there and delivering keynote speeches on all of the subjects that we deliver on. I love our compassionate leadership keynote, and I think that you will too. And I think that you'll find that whether you're charging someone to deliver a keynote or whether you're offering that information as a free webinar to a group of CEOs or a group of HR professionals or a group of entrepreneurs, all of the information that you get to work with as part of the Engage and Grow team is very powerful. Now, I want to take you to the central core of what we do. I've often mentioned our 6 steps. And if you take a look at the 6 steps and even go back to our original video book or our original video training program, where myself and Rich Maloney, who is the original curator of this knowledge base, and we work with one of Silicon Valley's most preeminent executive coaches, Mark Thompson, who only coaches in unicorns that he invests in as a capitalist, a venture capitalist, and the amazing Marshall Goldsmith. When you watch those videos and just start to understand how these 6 steps have become such a massively powerful way of changing organizations and changing humans and bringing that change out, I think you'll start to see. So let's break it down. So we work through these 6 steps to get to engagement and get to growth. In the beginning, obviously, evaluation is a very big part of it. When we go into organizations, we do an evaluation. Where are you now? What is the base starting point? And, I'm very happy to say that some organizations that bring us in are fairly strong in their engagement already. That is the rarity, though. That is not the majority of the people that we go in to work with. The majority of people are obviously needing engagement, and thus it's the reason we're there, I guess, is probably the simplest thing. From the evaluation phase, we move into the buy-in phase. And during our 12-week program, we actually walk them through each week, step by step, different stages of this, so that the activities that happen each week, the discussions that happen each week, and the actions that are taking place in their business each week are moving them through this process. So when we get to a collective accountability and we start them in agreement to moving forward, it brings us to that united front. And that's where the shared vision and that wanting to move together, excuse me. What we do notice though, and a lot of our clients understand this, and we do help them understand this from day one, where they sit there and say, I'm not sure Bob will be in this program, or I'm not sure that Mary will do well in this program. And we do help them understand that there is a self-selection or a deselection process during the program, where we see that, and this is a very big part of business growth, that as a business is growing, or as an organization, because we do this also in charitable and not-for-profit organizations, we do it in sporting organizations. So it's not just corporations that are the beneficiaries of the work we do. But when we put this in place, there are some people who will deselect themselves during the 12 weeks and say, listen, I'm not ready for the growth. Because an organization that is in growth means that some of the people will be left behind. They don't want to grow. They don't want to change. They don't want to move with the times and move with the organization. For an organization to survive long term, and even I'm looking at some of the associations that we've done this training programs with, and even some of the chambers of commerce around the world where we've done this training program, when we see people wanting to move and come together in that sort of alignment phase where they're coming together, and then we start to, as we move into the 12 weeks, see that level of engagement build and move that through. And then obviously once we get the executive or the core team in an organization, then spreading it through over a period of time. In some organizations, we can be in them for a year or 2 years to be able to get through the entire organization and have this program evolve through the entire company. It's very exciting to see that. And even it's more exciting, I guess, to see some companies where we come back in every year and run the same programs, because what we're doing is helping them evolve to that next level and that next level and that next level. It's an evolution of the process. But once we get to that point where there is trust, and that trust level moves through to truth, and people being very honest and open with each other, and that level of engagement getting to a point where we see massive growth, that's why our process works. And I think that you will be very excited as if you're someone like us and who fits with us, you'll start to see that this process is exciting to have run in organizations. So what we expect of you is obviously different to what you expect of us. We obviously expect in a partner certain things, and we'll discuss that with you one-on-one as we go into looking at what territory it might be that you're looking to invest in, where you're going to be, and what size business you're looking to build, and what type of organization you're looking to build. Obviously, we look for great partners, and it's almost like a mirror of what we expect from you is what we know you expect from us. So, it's not just access to the tools that we know you expect from us. It's professionalism. It's a proven, tested business model, but it's also a team to back you up. It's also a team to help you with what you're doing, where when you have questions and when you have knowledge gaps, to come to the team and be able to ask those questions. And I know Ishik, as our CEO, does an amazing job of helping you do that. But not only that, we need to help and assist you grow your business, from our sales programs or our sales process and our marketing programs, right through to our training. All of these things are here to help you grow your business, not just for you to be great at employee engagement, and obviously that's important, but for you also to be great at the business of building an employee engagement business. So all of those different aspects are very important to us, and therefore important to you. And we know that's what you expect of us and what we aim to deliver. Our content every month, and I think that when you get to see that, and when you sit with one of our team and go through our toolbox tour and start to understand what is available to you and how much is available, I think that you'll see that the launch of your firm and the opening of your firm will be a very exciting time for you. Obviously, your existing network and your existing friends and colleagues and companies you have worked with in the past will be part of that launch, because they are your friends and colleagues, and they will want to support you in growing such a phenomenal business, but also because you'll be able to add value to them and help them learn more about how they can grow in their organization or in their career. I think that's really exciting too. We couldn't be a part of this without social media, obviously. The level of content you get to develop social media. We do expect you to develop your own. We expect you to be delivering the webinars or delivering the content out to the marketplace, and thus creating an image of you out there as an expert in this field. But those basic templates and emails and things that often take years to develop are already there for you. Not to mention the ongoing product development in our programs and things that we deliver. You will have a formal training. Your pre-training is at least, well, we say 10 hours, but I'm pretty sure the vast majority of new franchise partners will do somewhere in the vicinity of 40 to 80 hours of watching videos, doing all of those sorts of things, reading all of the ebooks, the books, the training. You know, there's so much content that we have available for you that the 10 hours is the bare minimum that we look for a franchise partner, although the vast majority do way more than that. Our training is run both live and pre-recorded. The pre-recorded training obviously is available any time of the day. And so someone can be self-certified. And that is also for team members that you bring on in your organization. So as you go to build your company, there is definitely training available for them. They can attend the live, which we run globally and virtually, and a phenomenal level of training that we put in to make sure that someone is at that level. But that training doesn't ever stop. That training starts with this very clear training. But then every single week, every single month, there is more knowledge base allocated to you. So we think about it as a franchise opportunity. I just want to discuss why franchising. You know, franchising is an amazing way to build a business because we have local ownership at every level. I think it's really important that when we're dealing with organizations and large corporations and even entrepreneurs running their own small to mid-sized companies, I think it's important that they know there is a CEO or president or owner at that local level. And I think it's important for them to be able to relate to someone who is at that level, to be able to deliver programs and communicate with them. It doesn't mean that everything has to be done by the owner of the franchise, but at least people feel confident and more confident having that local ownership and that local understanding. I think a big reason why I love the world of doing business through franchising is that having a local person who understands the market, but also understands the culture and the cultural fit of how we deliver what we deliver is really important to us. And that to me is a big reason why franchising. As a franchisee, obviously you deliver that employee engagement programs, you deliver those services to companies, and through your marketing, through our marketing, through other franchise partners marketing, there is across the world some contracts that need to be delivered locally, but also there will be local contracts that you win that will be delivered across the world as well. So these are some of the things that as a franchise partner, you will not only deliver those programs, you can deliver if you take a look through all of our programs, and again, when you get back with someone who takes you through the toolbox tour of what are the programs, how do they work, and what sort of price points are charged for them so that you understand the business model, I think it'll get you very excited. Right through to those keynote addresses that you can be delivering in your local marketplace for all of the conferences and groups or associations that run their events locally. The senior franchise, so the franchise and the senior franchise, these are two different levels of opportunity. Obviously, whether you're looking to run the business yourself as a franchise partner, or whether you're looking to be more of an investor as a senior franchise partner and build a territory or build multiple territories of the business, then multiple coaches in your organization who will deliver the work, and you deliver a far greater size organization. So the level of opportunity is available for both sizes. And so depending upon where you're at in your career progress or where you're at in your business and your investment levels, obviously, as you sit and chat with one of the team, they'll take you through what it looks like and how that investment works and what it is in most of those areas. Finally, certain countries around the world where we don't have master franchise partners, obviously we look to have a partner who can bring the opportunity to that market, someone with vision, someone who is looking to invest, who will also bring on other franchise partners in the territory. They'll run the business themselves in certain territories and then bring on other franchise partners in different markets around that country or around that region of operation. So it's not just operating your programs and operating the business of employee engagement, but you'll also be selling franchises for other franchise partners to come on board in that market. So you're not only in the engagement business, but you're in the franchising business as well. I think it's exciting to be able to offer all three different levels of that. So obviously connecting and getting involved is step one, and step two, introducing yourself and understanding our business model is steps 3 and 4. The toolbox, as I've mentioned several times, is really a big step in the process, and that looking at your self-evaluation. So not only do we know that you're evaluating us and our opportunity, but we're doing the same. For us to award a franchise, we have certain characteristics and things we're looking for. And so your self-evaluation goes into that. The research and planning that you will do to be able to prove to us that you know you can open the business and open it well in that marketplace. We'll give you the tools and the knowledge to do that, but obviously it's up to you to do that work and make sure that you have validated that you can satisfy yourself that you can do it, but also satisfy us that you can do that. Then it's time to do feedback and validation talk with our franchise partners. Once you've done a bit of the work, then it's time to talk with them and have them help you understand where they're at and why they did it and what's happening for them and exactly what it would be like for you to join this organization. Approval process with our CEO and right through to then finalizing your plans, and we hit the agreements and push the go button and get you training. It's a fairly simple process. Usually we find that it takes people somewhere between 3 and 6 weeks to get enough knowledge to make a decision. And it takes between 3 and 6 weeks for us to get enough knowledge of you to be able to allow us to make a decision, an approval decision for you. So usually somewhere in that time bracket. That doesn't mean you need to start within 3 to 6 weeks, but what it means is it gives us that time frame to make a decision and then plan when the start happens and how we start the whole business. The network that you have is important. The passion that you have is important. I do make a joke of wanting to have a hobby, whether it's fishing or painting or whatever it might be. I do like the fact that our business does allow you to create a different lifestyle. And that's something that's really important. That being said, like any business, it doesn't matter the business. Any business you go into, in the beginning, you do have to put in the energy, you do have to put in the work to get the business to a point where it is growing and doing phenomenal things. There is no way around doing the work. Okay, you've got to build the market, but that comes back to your passion, your network, your desire to get out there in front of the marketplace and deliver webinars or seminars or even go into organizations and do our lunch and learn programs. And there's so many different things that we'll be teaching you as we go through this process. Making a decision on what level, the entrepreneurial level, whether it's to build a franchise, a senior partner franchise, will be a master franchise partner in your territory if that's available in your market. I think it's really exciting time, but I do want to warn you of two emotions. Having bought and started and built many companies over the years, I find two emotions kick in when I'm looking to invest in something. And a franchise is not something you buy, it's something you invest in. So you look at your return on investment. And I think that you'll see with the engage and grow opportunity, the level of return based on number of customers needed to get the return that you would get or the return you would desire in a business it makes it quite a phenomenal opportunity. But what the two emotions that I find when we're doing this, and especially if it's someone who's never purchased a business before, even me, having bought a lot of companies before, I still have these two emotions, and that is both fear and excitement. I get very excited by the chance of what I'm doing, but also fear kicks in. And I remember many years ago, a particular business I was looking to buy, and I let fear get in the way. I was about 80% of the way through the purchase decision. I'd done my due diligence. I knew I wanted to do it. I was excited by it, passionate for what it was. And at about 80% of the way through, I started to look for reasons not to do it. My fear brain kept saying, well, why shouldn't I do it? And even though I had 100 reasons to do it, my fear brain found one reason not to and talked me out of it. And I really think back on that opportunity, because knowing how much money was made by the person who did take on the opportunity made me sit back and wonder and say, why did I allow myself to talk myself out of it? So I've found that once you get to about 80% of the way through, it's time to make that decision and time to move forward. So that being said, a lot of people who come to us are professionals, whether it's C-level execs or human resources execs, and we find that you make some of the best. Entrepreneurs also make some of the best partners for us in Engage and Grow. We love the fact that you bring that knowledge base, that experience base, and that passion for the subject of what we do. Great C-level executives and great HR executives transform into our business very, very well. We love anyone that loves human resources. Having seen a lot of past entrepreneurs step into our business as well and do phenomenally well because of the fact that their experience as an entrepreneur and their experience, or your experience in HR, your experience in being an executive, leads you to such a level of compassion for what those other business owners are going through. But also, and we hear this so often, if only I had known this when. If I'd known this when I was running my own business, or if I'd known this when I was the HR person at this company, if I had known what we do at Engage and Grow, I would, and that to me is really exciting too, and so very important. So hang on, let me just click back to, there we go. If we sit back and say, actually, let me just go back one for a second. If we think about your future and our future at Engage and Grow, our vision is to recruit the best of the best. Our vision is to find the best people. And if we can find the best people, and that going back to not just management experience, but human resources experience, that level of experience gives us the confidence in you and should give you the confidence in your ability to make this work. I guess that's probably the simplest way of what I'm saying. We do love taking on other coaches, counselors as well. We find that giving structure to programs and structure of what is sold helps them create a much stronger business as well. But we would love to chat. If this is your first time with us, please connect with one of my team and make sure that we do get a chance to chat with you and share with you all of the other information that I've mentioned here on the program, take you through our toolbox and share with you all of the other programs that we can offer out there in the marketplace and work together on. That being said, let me take a look at the questions. I'm going to go through, there's 3 questions that were submitted first. Let me turn to those, and then I will turn to the questions that you've submitted here today. All right. So first question, and this is a really interesting one, because I see it a lot. And that is, Brad, what if I've never owned a business before? Is this something I should get into? Absolutely. I personally, and for those that I've never met before, I am a teacher of business. So I teach business on all different subjects of business. And it's very clear to me that a franchise is the right way for someone to get started in business, because there's so much to learn in business that coming into a franchise where you don't have to learn everything. A lot of the work has been done for you. Majority of the work in most cases has been done for you. For us here at Engage and Grow, the vast majority of the work is done for you. Your job is just to turn it on and get going with it, sort of thing. It's still a lot of work, but that's a very big part of what we're looking for. Second question. it's written very long, so let me paraphrase just for a second. Brad, what is the secret sauce to engage and grow? Now, I've covered a bunch of what we've said on that as to what I think is the secret sauce. But ultimately, my answer to that question is very, very simple. The way that human beings facilitate, the way that you as an engage and grow professional will facilitate humans coming together is a big part of it. The training industry is great at imparting knowledge. And we do that too. We impart knowledge as well. Our keynote speeches, our ebooks, your webinars, all of these things impart knowledge as well. But the activation programs are exactly that. They're facilitating activations, activating humans and other humans, building relationships, and therefore engaging at a real human-to-human level. I believe that is the secret sauce, and definitely there. I know I'm not going to get time for all of the questions today, so if there are any questions that you have that I don't get to, please reach out to whoever the recruitment professional is on my team that you're chatting with. If you're not, then please jump on our main website, engageandgrow.com, and reach out to the team right there, or even put something in the chat window right now and reach out to the team from there. Would it be possible for any franchise owner to take me under his or her wing so that they might onboard me properly and make money off my work that I do for them? You know, normally we don't do that. And I'll tell you why. Our franchise partners, when they invest in building a team member, and it is an investment, they invest in building that team member, it takes a lot of energy and a lot of effort. We have a very clear training program that will help you become a high-performing franchisee in the beginning. We have an education program where our best franchise partners, in fact, 5 now of our best franchise partners actually run the training programs with you. The Expand Your Knowledge program, EYK, the Expand Your Knowledge program is run by our franchise partners, and there is so much knowledge already pre-recorded when you join us that you can go back and watch, listen, and learn from. Our franchise partners are building their business, and we really respect the fact that they build their team, and then that team member is with them for a long period of time to help them with their business. If we had them building people and then sending them out. But that being said, our training programs build you pretty much the same way it would happen if you were working with another franchise partner anyway. So yeah, hopefully that answers the question and makes it easy for you to, when you go back and do the toolbox tour, see all the answers to that. Is there a target market sweet spot in terms of both annual revenue and number of employees or minimum size that makes sense? Yeah, there is. The majority of businesses that we work with will have somewhere in the vicinity of 12 employees or more. Most of the large companies that we work with have hundreds of employees. Most of the companies we work with have, a HR department that brings us in. We do definitely work down with the mid-size of the SME sector. We definitely do work with them, but the vast majority of the work we do is with the middle to large size companies. That's where the majority of it is. Now, as it comes to a sector, there is no real sector that is better than others. That being said, the majority of our franchise partners, once they get penetration into a sector, definitely use that. See, once you get great testimonials, and we obviously have all of the testimonials as a brand for new franchise partners to use on a global scale. But once you get great testimonials in a sector, and once you get known in a sector, here's what generally ends up happening. Employees move, HR executives move. So let's say we ran a program for a government body in a certain market. That one of the dozen or 24 or 100 people that went through the program in that company, within a year to 5 years, they will move to another company. It just happens. It's the natural cycle of employees moving from one place to another. That natural move then brings us into another company, and usually it's in the same sector. So whilst there isn't one particular, that is definitely how our sectors usually work across the board. Listen, let me finish up by just going a little bit more into why we do what we do. It's very powerful when you run one of these programs to sit with the human beings and watch their transformation. The transformation in relationships is something that just can't really be explained. And one of the great things about language is that it allows us to explain things. One of the challenges with language, though, is that there aren't enough words to be able to feel certain things that happen during our programs. I love what we do at Engage and Grow. I love our corporate teams changing, our SMEs changing. I love watching the testimonials and hearing the stories, but also getting the feedback of companies as to, yes, if I can say yes, I get excited by the productivity and the profitability increase. No doubt. I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. I get excited by that. But the majority of what excites me the most, and I hope you can relate to this, the majority of what excites me the most is the human transformations. I would love to have you come join our team. So please reach out to the team, get back with us, learn more about us, do the toolbox tour, start to build your business, and come join us at Engage and Grow and help us engage that world out there on a massive scale and create great results in companies where engagement and great leadership and great management and, that compassionate, beautiful companies that are running with love and excitement for what they do, where people come to work loving what they do, customers love doing business with them. That's what we're aiming to achieve. Thanks for being on the webinar today. Look forward to having you join our team.